How you doing, everybody? This is Brian Spann, aka the Spann Man. Listen, I have been waiting for a long time to have an interview with this gentleman because he is, I call him the Tony Stark of water. And finally got a chance to visit over here in Palm City, Florida, to visit Mr. Leo Szymborski, who is the CEO and the founder of pH Prescription. Leo, thanks for having us today.
Hey, thank you, Brian. I appreciate you coming down to see me. And we're here to talk about water. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So everybody listen, I have learned a lot from this man. I just used to think water was H2O, but now he has turned me into Bobby Boucher. I think I learned a lot more about water than I have now. And there are some good points and some bad points. You know, water can either be a blessing to you or a cursing to you, depending on how you treat it and how you respect it. So, Leo, tell us a little bit about pH Prescription, about like how you got involved with it. I believe your family, basically, you're like, what, third generation?
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
It goes way back. My grandfather started, he got his plumbing license in 1931.
Wow.
And his plumbing license is 002. He's the second person to get a plumbing license in the state of New Jersey, in Collingswood, New Jersey. His same name as me, Leo Szymborski. And we've been in this industry for a long time working with water. So my father, back in the 80s, when I was just getting out of high school, was a plumber, and I decided to follow in his footsteps. And one of the biggest problems we were having in New Jersey was acid rain from all the chemical plants like DuPont, Monsanto, and we were surrounded by these chemical plants, and it was eating up all the copper pipes. And in our industry, you can't have that because you got pinhole leaks all over the house causing tons of damage. So we found, he asked me to go out and find out. He called me, he says, "Hey, super genius, go figure out how to fix these pipes from leaking." And it sparked something in me. So my first job was working with pH, adjusting the pH of water.
Got you.
And so by doing that, we were adding calcium carbonate, and then we started adding other things like magnesium oxide to boost this pH up. And it made the water so hard that it was like white spots on everything.
Oh, gracious.
So then we had to get into doing water softeners, and then water softeners leave a lot of sodium in the water. And back then, doctors didn't like that because they didn't want people with heart issues to have high sodium content in the water. So they wanted us to put it in reverse osmosis. So within 3 years, we were a full-blown water treatment company. We were just trying to deal with acid rain, and then we were dealing with everything from iron to hardness to sodium to you name it. And then come to find out, in the state of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, they were dealing with chemical dumping. Yep. They were dealing with fuel tanks leaking in the ground. They were dealing with all kinds of toxins that were getting into our water table. And the state was picking up the work because people were getting cancer like crazy from this. So the state was picking up the work to clean up the mess. And I decided, believe it or not, working on that side of the pipe, even with those toxins, was better than working with sewage water, right?
Wow.
So being a plumber.
That's crazy.
So I figured, you know what, I would take this on and I would see if I could do something, make a go at it, and see if we could turn this into this plumbing company into a water filtration company. And my dad said that if I thought I could make a living off of it, let's go for it.
Seriously.
So I did. And for many years, we did state work. We did thousands of homes. We fixed thousands of homes to get rid of these toxins. But then I realized that they were engineering the products to be very weak at best. So I probably wouldn't put that product on my city water today versus, my well water back then with those toxins. So we designed and made better systems. We made systems that really worked. And we went after, there was a whole market of people that were willing to pay for a quality piece of equipment. Yes. And we realized a long time ago that, cheaper isn't always better. Some people are overpriced. That's true. But you get what you pay for.
Yes, sir.
And so we decided to build a fair system that people could afford, but I knew it was going to take care of the problem. And, when you look at children walking around with tumors sticking out of their heads and you deal with people, I don't know how many women I met with bandanas on their heads and no eyebrows because of chemotherapy, and you know what they're going through as soon as you meet them. And I was like, man, we got to do better for these people. And then I didn't even realize municipal water had its own challenges.
Yes, sir.
So municipal water has all kinds of disinfectants in it and things like, most people don't know this, but chlorine is deemed by the EPA as a pesticide.
Yes, sir.
And its number one purpose is to kill living organisms.
Yes, sir.
So we got to get that out too, because that's long-term danger. Like I'll give you an example. If you went down to Mexico and drank the water, you might not do so well. If you go drink out of the tap water in the United States, odds are you're going to be okay. you're not going to get, Monsuma's Revenge or something.
Yeah,
You're not going to be in the bathroom right away.
Typhoid.
Right, or something like that. But the long-term effects of chemicals like chlorine and chloramine, and we were looking at all these other cleaning agents that end up in our water, like salicylic acids and all those different things.
Yes.
They will cause, bladder cancer, all types of cancer. Women who have breast cancer show higher levels of trihalomethane in their fat tissue than women who don't. And trihalomethane is when chlorine and chloramines meet organics, it creates THMs, which is trihalomethane gas, and you breathe it in while you're in the shower, and you absorb it through your skin too. So another thing people don't realize, that you're getting damaged 3 different ways. One, you can drink it, and everybody knows they have taste buds, right?
Yes.
So people who buy bottled water are making an investment in their health, and they know what they're doing. And when I see, I don't care if it's in a plastic bottle or whatever, I see that they're making an investment in their health. We'll get into plastics later. But if your skin could taste, you wouldn't shower in it anymore.
I agree with you 100%.
So when people just think that they got their bases covered by drinking clean water, over 80% of the toxins you absorb from tap water is through your skin.
Yes, sir. The biggest organ.
Yep, the biggest organ. And transdermally, you're going to absorb this garbage because the molecular weight of these things are so small, it'll pass through your skin to your bloodstream. And bigger things like heavy metals and stuff have a bigger molecular weight, but they still get into your dermis and still cause damage. Not just skin issues.
Yeah.
So
I did some research. I went back to science and I looked up, because I believe that there's a periodic table that gives you the weight of all the molecules.
Yes.
I saw that chlorine was 35.4 and fluoride was 19.
Yeah.
Can you mentioned something about penetrating? Talk to us about that.
That's all right. So this is how it works, and it's measured on Dalton.
Yeah, Dalton's weight.
On the Dalton weight. It can go mole or Dalton. They mean the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say Dalton. So anything below 150 Dalton will pass through the skin into the bloodstream. Well, chlorine is 35.4 straight. When you mix it with water, it can be as high as 70.
Gotcha. Still
under 150, right? And I'm saying that because there's people who tell me, Leo, when it's in water, it's higher. They're right. And so it'll pass through the skin into the bloodstream. And like you said, fluoride is one of the most toxic things in our water. And people say, it's good for teeth. And we'll get into that even later. But it's even smaller than chlorine. Yes. And people say, well, we have drinking systems to remove the fluoride. I said, no, but what are you going to do about what you're bathing in? Because we have to get it out too.
Yes, sir.
And thank God, in a lot of places in the United States, fluoride has been canceled. It's not being used anymore. Mm-hmm. But there's natural occurring fluoride that's in the water. And most people don't realize we're recycling our wastewater.
Yes, sir.
So 25% in every metropolitan area, 25% of that tap water is recycled into our drinking water. And people freak out when they see this, but it's true. And if you want to really learn more about it, you can go to any of your news networks, Google it. Whatever you watch, whatever news that you trust, Google it. Drugs in our tap water, and I guarantee you'll find an article that they did on pharmaceuticals and tap water. And when they tell you how they got there, because it's recycled wastewater, it's not that the drugs are in the ground. They're not getting from the wells. They're coming from the recycle. And what happens when people get rid of drugs? To this day, some people still don't know any better. They still flush them down the toilet when they don't use them.
Yes, they do.
But when you take them, most drugs are synthetic. So when you take them, they don't break down very well in your body, and you pass them out. And it's getting recycled. So those drugs that are in your tap water came out of somebody, most likely. And we did it. I had some great clients that was, to do a pharmaceutical panel is about $4,000, mm-hmm. and it's not cheap. And then you want to do a fragrance panel too, because all the stuff in laundry detergents,
yes, sir,
is in the water too.
Yes, it is.
So I have a client. She's wonderful. She's up in New York. She's in Palm Beach, and she has another house in the Vineyard. And she wanted a mall test for pharmaceuticals. And I was like, man, it's going to be a lot of money. But she had the means to do it. So I was excited because I wanted to see the results, right? So in Palm Beach, the number one pharmaceutical was testosterone. Now, her builder was there, and he thought that was great. So he went and got a glass of water.
I'm pretty sure.
My doctor says I'm low. And see, I need it. Well, number 2 is estrogen.
That's the
from birth control, right? So you know what that'll do to a man. That'll really mess you up.
Yeah.
And number 3 was barbiturates like Xanax, right? And benzoids and things like that. So, and it went on. There was 26 different pharmaceuticals in the water. and how much is acceptable. Even these are in trace amounts, but how much is acceptable? And I say zero. You know, there's pesticides that actually make frogs have both sexes, male and female.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
And it really makes you wonder, you know, what can it do to, you know, that's an animal test, right? And so just knowing that all this garbage is there, and most of it, I'm going to say most of it, not all of it, isn't very hard to remove.
Yes, sir.
You know, really good carbons like catalytic carbon, coconut carbon, and then we use some really high-end calcium carbons, which is ceramic carbon, to remove things in a harder nature like radioactive isotopes,
yes, sir,
fluoride, arsenic, you know, you name it. And then there's all these whole list of resins we use when you're having severe problems. We can get all this stuff out of the water. But you're right. There's so much going on that people need to understand, and you have to take what's going on your skin, because what's the first thing that water touches is you.
Yes, sir.
And it's going into you, and you're becoming part of that. So can you imagine taking the oxidative stress out of a daily shower, right? You're not paying any, because every time you take a shower, you're paying taxes because your body has to deal with this crap.
Yes, sir.
So imagine taking that out of your daily routine and we're going to talk more about things that can put things back, right? So we're going to put money back in your bank account, right? Not just tax-free.
That's right.
We're going to put energy back. We're going to put nutrients back into your body.
Yeah.
But for right now, let's just think about cleaning up the water, making it tax-free, and making it safe.
All right, look, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back because Leo's got some Power Pack stuff to share. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, listen, I told you Leo has some Power Pack information. I hope you was able to digest this thing about water, because, again, water can either be a help to you or hurt to you. But, Leo, tell us a little bit about, there were some things you were going to mention about hydrogen. Just give us your thoughts on what hydrogen can do. I know you was talking about molecular weight and how water can actually penetrate the skin and go down into the cells. Can you give us some details about where hydrogen really focuses on the body?
Yeah, hydrogen, most people don't realize this, but if you look at the periodic table, it's one, right? The gas hydrogen, and in water it's H2. So it's only 2 molecules. So it's the smallest thing it's the smallest thing that we have known to our universe.
Mm-hmm.
So hydrogen is amazing because it is energy, it's fuel, and it does the same thing for the body, you know, as it does for a rocket ship, right? It gets it off the ground. So when you look at hydrogen is a selective antioxidant, right? Mm-hmm. Hydrogen will not go after necessary oxidizers like nitric oxide, oxygen. These things are important. We need them every day. They help us. They support life. But hydrogen will go after cytotoxins, things that are really bad for the body, right? And how it does that is hydrogen is an electron donor. And when you're donating electrons, you're knocking out free radicals. And free radicals are causing cellular damage. And cellular damage is causing premature aging, like wrinkles, cataracts, gray hair. As we get older, I mean, it's pretty obvious that we're getting older because you can see the cellular damage transdermally, right? We didn't start out with gray hair, and we didn't start out with cataracts or wrinkles. We started out perfect, right? So hydrogen is like a great way. It's an antioxidant, anti-aging. It's a great way of holding the hands of time back because it's going to do cellular repair. And a lot of people are totally focused on hydrogen. There's a full realm. You wouldn't want to have hydrogen in toxic water,
right?
Because then you're going to have those toxins to deal with. And if you don't have any minerals in the water, like people with hydrogen purified water, and you don't have any, and it's not easy to hydrate that way. So you need minerals for hydration. So there's a total package, and we try to do that. We make sure that we put that all together in one system. So when you're getting hydrogen, you're getting a tax-free income in your bank account, right? It's not being taxed. Like when you take a shower in toxins and chlorine and chloramine and fluoride and all that garbage, you're paying a cost to take that shower, and it shouldn't be that way.
That's right.
When you take a shower, it should be cleaning you up. It should be refreshing you. It should be a positive thing.
Yes.
But it isn't always. And there was articles written that says that showering every day could be harmful to your health. Well, not the way we do it, right? Not only do we get rid of, if you're getting rid of all the toxins, you're only halfway there. Now we got to add things back. So hydrogen being the smallest molecule of 2 in the water, it's going to pass through your skin into your bloodstream easy, because remember, anything under 150 Dalton is going to pass through your bloodstream. Well, this is only 2, and it's going to pass through your bloodstream right away. It passes your blood-brain barrier, which most people aren't aware of. And I tell people all the time, when you're using our hydrogen system, like we have a hydrogen shower called the Vita Impact Shower, which is right here. You have a handheld, and it's running off of this, and you can point it where it hurts, right? So if you got a neck problem or a stomach problem or a knee problem, you can put that hydrogen right on that area and drive it in, and it super excites the cells in that area to do repair, just like stem cells would do. And another thing too is I noticed putting it on the bottoms of your feet, it'll help reduce calluses because it'll hydrate your feet. It'll get in there. It'll break down that damage. And so big guys, you're bigger than me, but I'm 6'3", 250 pounds, and if my feet take some damage walking around.
Mine does too, man.
And so I put that on the bottom of my feet, and it makes a huge difference. I feel amazing. There's no way I can explain it. When you take a hydrogen shower and you get out of it and you're toweling off, and if it's the first one you ever taken, you feel like your body is covered in tiny little batteries.
Yeah.
Because you feel the charge. That's the best way I can explain it.
Yes, sir.
You feel the charge. If somebody turned this system off and put me in there, I'd be like, it's not on. I can't feel it. But if somebody had it on, I'll know. And I've had people, and I can't name them, but I've had people that most of you know, in my shower, which is right around the corner here, sit at my desk afterwards and just touch their skin. I think you were one of them.
Yep, I was.
And your wife. And touch their skin and go, why does my skin feel so good? And oh my God, I feel this charge.
Yeah.
And you probably slept great that night.
Oh yes.
And so there's just so many benefits to hydrogen. We have it in our drinking system, we have it in the shower system, and we have a big commercial shower system that we'll probably show later that's out in the shop. I can't bring it in here. But there's so much hydrogen can do for the body. It's just amazing, and it's an experience you have to have.
Tell me this now. You have a lot of people that deal with stuff like gout.
Yeah.
And here's a kicker: neuropathy.
Yeah.
Tingling in the feet, the pain, because now you're dealing with cells that have been so damaged to where they've died. And my mom is dealing with neuropathy, my mother-in-law, and my mother-in-law is what I call her. And I've been trying to find ways to help. And after talking to you, I think this would be a great help, because acupuncture can only take you but so far. But when you have something that can minister to the body from the outside in and then help it correct itself from the inside out, can you talk about how hydrogen, matter of fact, this is your Vital Impact Shower, which is a hydrogen-based product, right?
Sure.
What can something like this do for people with gout and neuropathy and even other things, strenuous activity, breathing issues? Talk to us about that.
Sure. Hydrogen is we could be here all day talking about this, but you're going to talk about the feet. Now let's talk about the feet. How far is the feet away from the heart? About as far as you can get. Yeah. Right. So your blood flow is carrying nutrients, and it's bringing stuff down through the body. Yeah. Now your body's using it up as it goes. So by the time it gets to your feet, there's not much left.
No.
Right. Especially if you're not healthy. Yeah. Right. Because you're getting poorer vascular. Everything. So think about this. If you were to drink this water, great, but it's probably only going to make it so far. It might make it to your stomach, and then it's all being used up. This hydrogen is being used up for your organs and all, which is great. But when you want to get down to the feet, using the shower system, you can take that handheld and take that wand down and put it right on the feet, and that hydrogen is getting in there.
Yes, sir.
And it's knocking out free radicals because it's a strong electron donor.
Yes.
And probably the place you have the most free radicals are in your feet.
Yes, sir.
And uric acid is what causes gout.
Okay.
And it's over acidity, and that's painful. And just drinking water that has a higher pH, you can just put a little baking soda in water and reduce gout.
Gotcha.
But you can also do it with our water, because our water has a higher pH, because we use magnesium to make hydrogen in our drinking systems. So it's bringing up the pH, and it's going to reduce the acidity in the body.
Yes, sir.
And it's going to force that acidity. It's going to bring in the alkalides into the blood, force the acidity out into and use it as stomach acid and different things the body can use. So you're going to get rid of all that. So it's a whole balance of things. Some people will tout that filtration is the only thing that's important and needed, and it's a big part. It's a very big part.
Right.
And then other people will say alkalinity is a big deal, and it's kind of, alkalinity has its purposes, but it's limited.
Right.
And then other people will say, well, the minerals are the biggest part. And then we get to the hydrogen. And I've had experts in every one of those fields in this office, and the leading experts, and they all want to focus on what they know about. The water guy wants to focus on his water. The mineral guy wants to focus on his mineral. The hydrogen guy wants to focus on his hydrogen, being the total thing. But I would like to think, from my experience, that's a little bit of everything, right? You're getting a total, complete package. And it's so funny because without the minerals, the water tastes flat. Even with hydrogen, it doesn't taste great. And so when you have the right mineral, you got to be the right mineral content. The water tastes good, it's flavorful, the hydrogen makes it so light, it's easy to swallow, it doesn't slosh around in your stomach when you drink it.
Yes, sir.
When you drink it, it just goes into the system like it's supposed to. So when you drink, most people won't drink water that don't like water because it just lays in their gut. They want to drink something like carbonic acid, like sparkling water, or they want to drink soda, or they want to drink all these other things that are flavorful. Danger zone, all of those. If you had the right water, you would never want any of those.
I have your system at home.
You wouldn't want it.
And I've used it, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. I have the R1100 that has the hydrogen in it, and I realized that, and it has an alkaline level on it too. I've never felt as good until I started drinking that kind of water.
It's amazing, and it's a fraction of the cost of these ionizers that are on the market today. Not going to name any of them, but there's a lot of ionizers out there, and they have purpose. When I started this wellness kick 20 years ago, I've been doing this for 40 years. I've been doing water for 40 years.
Gotcha.
But I got into the wellness side of it for personal reasons. So I bought some of the best ionizers on the market, and some of them cost over $5,000.
Yes, sir.
Just for testing purposes. And I used them, but there's flaws and there's holes in a lot of the equipment out there because some of them don't provide enough filtration.
Yes, sir.
And others don't provide enough protection from the material that they're using to ionize, right? You're ionizing with metals, and you got to be careful with that because you can be adding titanium to the water, which is toxic. So it's there's a whole process, and we did it at a fraction of the cost that our competitors are doing it for. And you can get really good water that's going to help you with cellular health. It's going to help you with your neuropathy. We can go to the next level and apply it transdermally to get it to places that it's not normally going to get to anyhow on its own, and create that healing. I've had a lot of people come in with wounds on their lower legs and feet that because they're older and they don't get the nutrients down there, they don't heal. So they have to be really careful. And these people lose toes and their feet and their legs over this stuff. And one of the things we notice with wound care is that when people get hydrogen and get that electrons and get that energy and get rid of those free radicals in that area, they can create healing. And it's amazing that this can happen. Now the body is doing all the healing.
Right.
I'm not going to give any of the credit to the hydrogen.
It's assisting the body.
The hydrogen just giving it what it needs to work.
That's right.
Right. It's just turning on those receptors. That mitochondria has to wake up. That glutathione has to be charged up. And hydrogen, you put a millivolt meter in this, and we get up to negative 1,200 millivolts in some of our systems.
Wow. Now I gotta ask you something. You mentioned something about skin issues and something about like type 2 diabetes. Now, am I correct that you actually had people here to test blood sugar?
Yeah, I did.
Some people even went to IHOP to boost their blood sugar up.
Because
they wanted to see if this thing really worked.
Yeah.
Tell me what bathing in this hydrogen water did for people whose blood sugar levels were high.
Now you got to understand, this isn't a lab study.
No.
This isn't a university study. So I'm about to say it's just anecdotal what happened to people that were here.
Yeah.
And I had a guy working for me for a few years. He was my CFO of the company. Yeah. And he actually has a pretty good track record. He worked for Frank Perdue, the chicken guy. He was a financial guy for him. Then he went and worked for Mel Fisher, the treasure hunter, because I guess Frank invested money in Mel. And so as a retired person and a cancer survivor, he's a super cool guy. He came to work for me because we met through his process of surviving cancer. I needed good water. So he came to work for me for a few years, right before he finally retired, because he was in his late 70s then. And he kept getting in the shower every day because we built this really high dose shower, and we all knew it just made us feel better, right? I built it because I had a heart condition, and I write about it in a book that I wrote. I'll get into that in a minute.
Which is a good book, everybody. You better get it.
H2O,
I got it.
Health to Overcome. Check it out. Amazon, #1 bestseller.
Yes.
So he gets in it every day. Now this guy's an accountant, so he's really good with numbers, right? So he's got a chart. He checks his blood sugar 4 times a day because his blood sugar get out of control. And I didn't know this about him. I didn't know that he had diabetes. And so one day, and he's done in the shower, he poked his head in my office because it's right around the corner from my lab. And he says, hey Leo, how come every time I take the shower, about 20 minutes later, my blood sugar drops? And I didn't know what he meant. I thought he meant drop low,
right?
Like, hypoglycemic or something. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he says, he goes, it's the weirdest thing. He goes, I've been watching it, and my numbers have been getting better. And now that I've been doing it for more than 3 months, my A1C is looking better. And I was like, I really don't know the answer to that. He says, well, why don't we do it like a study of just we'll bring in some more people that have diabetes. And he goes, he had a church group that had, several people, and he made an announcement, and he had 4 people from his church group come in Monday through Friday every day to take a shower. And every one of them had an improvement in 3 months in their A1C, a drastic improvement. So what we did was we put the word out, and we found this Diabetes Research Foundation in Atlanta, Georgia. And these guys, these 4 guys came down. 3 of them were type 2, and the guy who ran it was type 1 because he was trying to find a cure for himself. But the type 1, from what I understand, their pancreas doesn't work at all. The type 2, it works, but the body's having a problem giving everything it needs, right? So again, I'm not a doctor and I'm not giving medical advice.
Right.
So they all came down, and before I met them, I knew they were going to be here. They had one out to breakfast. And I told you this story, that's why I brought it up. And they all ate pancakes with syrup and jelly and everything that you could think of. And they came in, and one guy had a blood sugar of almost 400. Most of them were around 200.
Yeah.
And he was the worst one, I guess. And so the guy with type 1 had an insulin pump,
Yeah.
And so we put them in one at a time, and they took their blood sugar right after, and it spiked a little, and we couldn't figure out why. But 20, 30, 40 minutes later, it started dropping.
Yeah.
And when I mean dropping, it was dropping like 20, 30 points. And then they stayed for 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, every day, 20 to 30 minutes after their shower, most of them were at a blood sugar around 100.
Yeah.
No more than 110, some were at 90, which is pretty much normal.
Yes.
And I was just like, this is really exciting. So we wanted to do a study on it. I brought in some doctors that wrote some IRB studies that we were going to do.
Yeah.
But the one thing he said, let's not mess with diabetes, because it's actually, a disease.
Yeah.
Let's do our first study on inflammation.
Yes.
Because it reduces inflammation too. But getting back to the diabetic study, the hypothesis was, what they came up with, was that they figured because it helps, we've seen this on a dark field microscope, it helps blood flow. And when you look at diabetics' blood on a dark field microscope, it looks like a sticky highway.
Right.
The blood cells are all congested and coagulated and rouleau, and they're all stacked, and, and it just looks awful. They have very sticky blood, they call it. And after they shower, their blood looks super clean. So what's happening is, one of the theories was that the insulin in the body is not being resistant. It's getting to the cells and it's doing the job. And because everything's so clean, part of the hydration process is to flood the cells with water and flush the toxins and waste.
Right.
Well, this is what the system's doing. It's helping your body, because after you get out, you got to pee.
That's right.
That's right. It pulls in so much,
like
you got to pee. So yeah, you got to go to the bathroom, and you're getting rid of that waste, and then you'll probably go again within an hour, and that's the body's natural way. But when people have this congestion and all this buildup, and it's like being on Miami or LA on the freeway during rush hour. You're in the biggest parking lot in the country, you know what I mean? You ain't going anywhere.
Nowhere.
Well, the blood ain't either, and so if the blood can't carry the amino acids and the gluten and everything it needs to do its job, or the insulin, it's not going to clean up that sticky mess. And so what we found out, and think about this would help pretty much any issue. That blood needs to move, and it needs to move with what it needs, the energy it needs, and it has to be charged up. One of the things I noticed, and I was asking a question, I said, how come all these really nice round plump blood cells have a ring around it?
Right.
It looks like a halo,
right.
And they said because it has energy.
And
it had a dimple in the blood cell when it was hydrated.
It was smiling.
Yeah, it had a dimple. So when it wasn't hydrated, it looked just flat. And then when it didn't have a ring or flat, it started stacking and causing rouleau. And it looked like snakes. It was crazy. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, what is that? It's like watching Animal Kingdom.
That's crazy.
But hydrogen just wakes up the body system, gives it what it needs. It's the best way I can explain it without going in too technical. And this is all anecdotal. This is what happened for people. I write about it in my book. I write. There's several people that came in here with some severe conditions, and they had improvements. And I took what they wrote and I just abbreviated just a paragraph. I mean, there's so much more really to it. I'm going to write another one called 0 to 60 Unfiltered. Yeah. Because I'll be 60 next year.
Got you, man.
And I want to get deeper into the things I'm talking about. But I was waiting for the report from the people who read it, asking me, well, what about so-and-so? What happened in this area? And then I'm realizing where the interest is in the book, you know what I mean? So.
Got you. Well, everybody, look, we're going to take one more break, and then afterwards we're going to come back. I want to ask Leo about inflammation, and then we're going to talk about his systems real quick. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Spann Man, back again with Leo Szymborski. Leo, you have dropped some knowledge on this, man, that's heavier than Dalton's weight.
Yeah.
But I want you to talk to us a little bit about inflammation, and if you can really explain inflammation and what it does to the body from what you've understood. And sure. I know you've had doctors. I've actually, even reached out to one of the doctors that really supports your organization because she believes in the water. And I've even listened to some of her talks. And the hydrogen really does more than what we really give it credit for. Yep. But can you talk about inflammation for a moment, and afterwards, talk to us about your system, because this is a life-changing system, the Vital Impact Shower. But I want you to just give us your information on what you've learned about inflammation.
Well, Brian, inflammation is really the cause of all disease. I think anytime that somebody's having a problem, it starts with an inflammatory reaction somewhere, and there's an oxidative fire can be put out, right? So, what do they say? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Come on, man.
Right. So if you think about it, if you're constantly putting things into your body that's anti-inflammatory, like hydrogen, you're ahead of the game, right? You're ahead of the game. If you're eating foods that are anti-inflammatory, you got curcumin and different things you can take that are anti-inflammatory. Inflammation, man, is horrible, because like when you get hurt, you get a lot of inflammation.
Yes, sir.
Right? And that inflammation is painful. And people don't even have to get hurt. They could just turn the wrong way and pull their neck or pull their back, and the inflammation starts. And now they're sitting there rubbing this, need a chiropractor, they need something for relief, right? They need medication, right? So imagine if you reduce the inflammation and you reduce the stress factor. I hit the gym. I do things that are, more for a 59-year-old guy. I'm pretty strong, and I go after it. But I know that if I'm not drinking my water, taking my showers, taking my nutraceuticals that I need every day, I wouldn't do it.
Gotcha.
It'd be too painful.
Gotcha.
My body wouldn't heal, right? So I'm lucky that I can get the things to my body, and I know. And it's funny, when I'm having a problem, I know I need to focus on something. Yeah. And focusing on it is always. And people call me all the time. Hey, I got this going on. What should I do? I say, hey, I'm not a doctor.
Right.
But you just got to get your inflammation markers down. And you got to reduce your oxidative stress on the body. So like I said, the one doctor I'm working with, he wrote me a study an IRB study for inflammation, and our goal was, and we were just close to doing it, and COVID hit.
Oh, man.
So we had 30 people picked out. We had 2 doctors that were going to manage it and their assistants. Jim, my tech, had put together software, because everything runs off a computer on our system, that they would be on numbers. And odds and evens, like all the odds would get hydrogen and the evens wouldn't, but they'd all get filtered water. So there's no side effect, right? People are going to come here. I'm in Florida. It's full of retired people.
Yeah.
It was easy to find 30 people take a shower every day. Door was going to be open 7 days a week. There was going to be somebody here, little man, somebody cleaning the shower between people, and they were going to come in and take a shower. Yeah. And it was that simple. And the people who weren't getting the hydrogen, good for them. They were getting clean water. And we were expecting good results with both sides. Yeah. Right? Because these are people that we picked that use tap water for showering.
Yes, sir.
So now, if they're filtering it in just clean water, their inflammation levels are going to go down. Their skin's going to get better.
That's right.
And we know that because we've been doing that for 40 years.
Yes.
So, but the people taking the hydrogen showers, is already in clean water, plus hydrogen, are going to get that compounded, hopefully times 10.
Yes.
So when we do blood work, we set the study up as a 90-day study, but we could stop it in 30 if we had good results. Because it's an IRB study and it's going to be published. So it's going to be published either way, if we have good results or bad results. So we already know from having hundreds, if not thousands of people through the system and using our product, the results that they had. So we're banking on the theory that we know that it's going to make a huge impact. It's going to reduce the inflammation. It's going to make them feel better. It's going to give them overall well-being every day. And the best part is we're going to have a study for filtered water, and we're going to have a study for filtered hydrogen water.
Yes, sir.
And it's going to be a double impact to the company and help grow the brand. But since COVID, one thing had happened. People start working from home.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
they don't have a water cooler to drink from.
That's right.
Or they don't have what the office offers them to drink. So they needed water at home.
Yeah.
So my phone kept ringing. People wanted filtration. They wanted, if they had one, they needed more filters because they were using it more. And then we're national. We work in all 50 states and other countries too. But people got used to getting on the phone with me on a FaceTime and doing an install or changing their filters, where before they were hiring plumbers or they had to get other people involved. But people got used to technology because we weren't seeing each other face to face. That's the only way we were communicating. So COVID had a positive impact on our company. At first it was scary, but it had a positive impact because it made technology more available.
Yes, sir. Got you. There's a lot of information, man. Your technology is ahead of the game, if I can say that. I think burn victims and people with neuropathy are two of the biggest challenges.
Sure.
Have you had any testimonials from anyone with burns or neuropathy?
I've had people with all that, but burns. Let's talk about burns. And I had one kid in here that had. We didn't realize this until later. They figured out what was wrong with him. He had an autoimmune disease called Wagner's, and he had sores all over his body. Yeah. And he looked like somebody with leprosy.
Gotcha.
And I remember the first thing his mom and dad said, "Don't worry, he's not contagious." Because you look at him, you're like, "Whoa, what's going on with this kid?" So I wouldn't touch him, and I wouldn't do anything. So I brought a local physician, MD, that's part of this program, helps us out. She came in and she sat down with him, and actually she became his physician, and she helped him amazingly, because the modern medicine can be good for certain things, but they don't think outside the box.
I got you.
You know, they're not in the cures; they're in the pharmaceuticals. And the kid was on enough pharmaceuticals, and they kept thinking he had parasites, or he was on, I think, ivermectin and things for that. And then they thought he had an infection, so he was on antibiotics for a couple years, destroying his gut. So he was on all these meds that really his body never needed. Gotcha. And when we got the hydrogen on him, we couldn't apply it directly. We had to really think outside the box ourselves. We put misters in there.
Got you. Yeah.
So we had a big steam mist of hydrogen water that he stood in the middle of with misters all around him, and he could get this because when he stood under the shower, it was too painful because open wounds.
The force of the water.
So the misters was the answer, and the same thing for burn victims. They can't handle direct impact, and burn again is the skin is trying to repair, it's trying to fix itself. But could you imagine by putting all that energy topically right to it?
Nerves, man.
And so most people have a problem getting in a steam shower, and it wasn't hot steam, it was cold steam. Yeah. But and the colder it's pretty wild. Hydrogen likes cold water; it'll stay in suspension longer.
Gotcha.
We're even doing hydrogen cold plunges, so that's a whole other avenue. But hydrogen likes colder, but in hotter it'll still be there. But think about this too: it's once hydrogen, because it's under pressure when we make it under high pressure, and once it comes to atmospheric pressure, it starts gassing into the air.
I see.
Well, hydrogen has therapeutic benefits for breathing too.
Yes.
So you're breathing that gas in that little steam chamber called a shower, and you're breathing in the hydrogen gas, not trihalomethane, which causes breast cancer and all that.
Exactly.
You're breathing in hydrogen, which is causing healing. And for people with lung disorders and breathing issues, it's amazing.
Like COPD.
COPD.
Respiratory issues like even people with bronchitis.
Asthma.
Inflammation of the bronchitubes, asthma. I mean, so many things. And even with neuropathy, I think that it could probably help, because you were talking about cell damage, and neuropathy is a heavy cell damage issue. Now, that's one of the biggest challenges a lot of people have.
You got to think out your mitochondria is your charging packs, right? Is your batteries in your body, and most of them are dead, right? So as you get older, I don't care what you take. There's all these things you can take that are supposed to boost this or boost that, but without mitochondria, they're not going to work. And this is going to supercharge that mitochondria by giving it the voltage it needs to wake up to charge those battery packs. I mean, I thought this was crazy. I was like, all right, show me something with this water I can test.
Yeah.
So they dropped a millivolt meter in it called an ORP meter, oxidation reduction
I've heard of
potential
those,
motor in it. And they use that in like pools and hot tubs because they want it to be a positive 800 to 1,000. And that means it's oxidizing, it's destroying, it's killing anything, any growth or microbial, right? And chlorine will do that. But nobody was really measuring it because when it goes to negative, it's an antioxidant. But not too many people were playing with the negative side of it. And people were like, man, I got positive 800. This pool is so clean and all that. Yeah, it's clean, but it's dangerous to you too.
Exactly.
But imagine getting in a negative 800 or a negative 1,000. And it's the voltage is there. You can see it. It's not hype. You know, people say, show me what it does. Like, I give you an example. I make things that make structured water too. Prove it though.
Gotcha.
That is hard. I mean, you got to do an NMR. You got to go to a university that has super equipment or a high-end laboratory.
Understood.
And you can see you can do a half width on it. Very hard to prove. And so a lot of people claim structured water, and it's such an overused term because water is in a lot of structures.
It is.
You know, molecular hydrogen is H2, which is a long chain molecule. But structured water is trying to break it down into the smallest chain.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So there's purposes for everything, but hydrogen is one of the easiest things. And now there's ways to test for hydrogen. There's hydrogen digital meters, not accurate at all. I have no luck with them. But there's a product called H2 Blue.
Okay.
And for every drop of H2 Blue you put in, it's 1/10 of a part per million of hydrogen. So 10 drops is 1 part per million.
Gotcha.
20 drops. So you put it in there, and if the water goes clear, that's how much hydrogen's in there.
Okay.
But if it stays blue, there's not. So what we had to do was, because we have a shower that makes 10 ppm plus, we have to put 100 drops in there.
Yeah.
And then pour the water in there, and if it goes clear, we know we're at 10 ppm.
Gotcha.
But if I did it one at a time, by the time I got to 100 drops, enough hydrogen gas has already worked its way out.
Wow.
I'm not getting the true read.
I got what you're saying.
So it's difficult. So.
Well, tell us this now. This is the thing I've been reading about.
Yeah.
And I have actually posted information on my page about this. Tell us about the hydrogen vital impact shower.
Now, this Vital Impact shower, I got 2 brochures we made for it. This one was for first responders and military, and this one's for athletes and residential. Basically, same information in here, just different ways to look up like muscle recovery, oxidative stress reduction, anti-inflammation effects. I mean, it's all in here, right? You can go on aquapellis.com, AQUAPELLIS.com, or phprescription.com. And then go to Aquapellis link, and you'll see these PDF downloads that have all this information in it. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is my shower at home, and this is my Vita Impact system. It sits right at the base of my shower. And what we do is I run off my handheld, so I run a hose from the diverter down into the system, out of the system, back up to the handheld, and we have little wall mounts and straps and all this. And then when I turn it on, when the water starts flowing, and you'll see hydrogen bubbles come up through here, when you turn it on, you hear this thing kick on, and the pressure kicks up because it's got a booster pump in it. So you get like a really good high pressure shower. People love that partly the most. And then you're putting it on the body, and it's just amazing. And you have to pour distilled water in it because that's what cracks with this PEM membrane that we use. It cracks that distilled water and down into in the hydrogen. Now there's a lot of systems that make hydrogen that don't use distilled water, but it calcifies the plates, it destroys them. So this system here will give you a lot of life, lasts a long time, easy to install. I mean, we'll send it with a full install kit. If you send me a picture of your shower and some measurements, I'll figure out how many feet of hose you need. And it's all stainless steel hoses, and how many wall mounting brackets you need. And these are 3M. You just take some alcohol and clean the tile, stick them on. They're pretty adhesive. And then you put the lines in them, and they lock in, and you run it in and out to your shower, and it's the whole thing can be done probably in about 20-30 minutes.
Wow.
But it makes 3 ppm. It's on wheels, so it's easy to move. It's kind of heavy, and then the wheels can lock so it doesn't move. But it's very simple. And if you're out of water, it'll tell you. It sounds like Tinkerbell on Disney. It starts making a noise, and sounds like she's using her wand. And then if there's a water quality issue, like if you don't put distilled water in it, there's a drain on it, you got to drain it out, and you got to put distilled water in it.
Gotcha.
People have made the mistake of putting just reverse osmosis water, and my reverse osmosis water has minerals in it because I add magnesium back, and it knows it has a TDS meter in it, and if it's over 1 part per million, it'll shut down.
Gotcha. And this is awesome. So 3 ppm of the hydrogen is enough to help the body.
Oh God, yeah, 0.5 is the therapeutic level. So
this is like 6 times over that.
Yeah.
Well, you can't overdose on this.
No, and you know what? We have 10 ppm over there, right? In a big commercial unit that we put in for a lot of people and a lot of high-end spas. And same thing. You'll feel it. It's more of a charge, but we've never been able. The only thing you can do is you can put too much hydrogen in the air and make it explosive.
Well, yeah, we don't want that.
So I have a meter in there because it's so high and it's a small room.
Yeah.
We've never went over 1%, and you have to reach 4+% to be explosive.
Okay, all right. Do you mind if we see that larger unit?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. Look, y'all just give us a chance. We're gonna set up and let you take a look at this big unit. We'll be right back. Okay, everybody. So we're in here with Leo, and it looks more like a time machine, man. But talk to us about this.
We're out in my shop. People see this thing here and they're like, what the heck is this, right? This thing here is totally built here in my 10,000 square foot manufacturing facility here in Palm City. These panels are made. We have a laser cutter in the back. These panels are made. And when you open this thing up, you see everything turns white, and it turns white so you can see.
Wow.
There's the electronics that run this shower. It's very high tech. This smart system sends all these signals and all the information back to my shop, so we can keep an eye on your shower system and see how it's working out. Now, don't get me wrong. This is for like high-end spas, and most of the time it's people that financially are in a situation to buy something like
Understood.
this. But we also have nutraceutical tanks that we make. We make the tanks here too. This is where your distilled water goes to make your hydrogen. Your essential nutrients go in here. There's nothing in this right now or here. And then you have an Epsom oil, which is a magnesium oil that goes on the skin that helps reduce inflammation. The essential nutrients have a driver in it to help drive that nutraceutical deep into you at a cellular level, so that transdermally you're picking up that nutrient. So on top of hydrogen, you're picking up all 81 ionic minerals that are feeding the body from the outside in, which is really important. And then here, I'll give you a brief run here, just some filtration equipment, some pumps, and there's more equipment that goes in here. But right now, this is in my shop, so it's running off of our filtration system at the shop. But this one's getting ready to go out to Jupiter to a person's home. And when they put in something like this, they do a build out for us. Like there's a room just for this to go in. And then if you step back here, going around the back here, here's where the plumbing comes in. Here's the in and out. Here's where this hooks up to a Cat 5, and here's the power supply.
I mean, literally, man, this looks like a time machine.
And that down there is just a drain.
You sure you don't have Captain America in that thing?
Right. So this system is really unique. But I'm going to take you into this other room, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what it does.
All right, let's go. All right.
All right, this is a shower that we built for people to use. It's a very smart system. It's been through a lot of variations of what we've been doing.
Yeah, my wife and I tried this, you all. I'm telling you.
This has been here for 12 years now. I'm just going to turn it on, and if you watch here, this control panel, you can see the pressure H2 is making. The output's 100%. I got 2 power cells running each, and the flow rate. So it's giving me all the information I need right here, right, to figure out what's going on. And our hydrogen levels are building. Once the hydrogen level reaches the water pressure, it's maxed out, and you're going to see this percent drop because it's not going to need that much.
Okay.
But it makes it really, really fast.
Yes, sir. You have remote control for this thing too?
That's for the AC.
Oh, okay.
It can get hot in here. But if you see, we're getting close. We're getting close to the 51 psi, and the power output dropped. See, it just dropped.
Yep.
And
wow,
it doesn't need as much. But if we fill this beaker up, you're going to see some hydrogen.
Man, this is crazy.
Now we bring this out here, get it up to the light here. Do it now?
Yep. That's not dirty water, everybody. This is real hydrogen.
You can see it right on top. See it,
Look at that.
Yeah, ethanol.
That's the best time to get in that water, man.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, people ask me all the time, why is it so cloudy? I said, that's the good stuff. You can see it slowly gassing off.
Yes.
We can figure how slow that was. So by the time it hits your feet, it's just as strong as it is at the top. There's still 5 times therapeutic in this breath, even though you don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can adjust this to any temperature you want. And then the nutraceuticals, we have here, let's see, filter. Well, you got your chem pumps here. We can put the system in bypass. Let's say this is the only shower you had, and there was an issue with it. You can push this bypass valve, and it'll go back just the way your shower was before.
Gotcha.
And then this is pump 1 and pump 2, and that's for the nutraceuticals, whether you're putting in
I want to sleep that night.
81 ionic minerals, huh?
I want to go to sleep that night.
Oh, yeah. We have a sleeping formula that we made for a couple clients. We deal with some really high energy people, and they don't sleep. They can't sleep. I don't think they can take off the time. I mean, look at Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
He slept like, 4 hours a night?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of my high energy, people are the same way. And so they asked me, if this thing can knock me out, I'll buy it. And so what we did was we got with some compounding physicians, and we sat down and we came up with all natural ingredients. We came up with 7 different ingredients, and it's this really strong sleeping formula. And we tried it, and I had a hard time driving home. And there's other things. Anything you put in here is a delivery system. I've had people put in things for good and bad, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful what you put in this, because it's going to get into your bloodstream.
Parts per million.
Really quick. And alcohol can get in there real fast.
Oh,
so.
gracious.
Yeah, I got young guys working for me. You got to watch them.
Yeah, I'm sure. But look at this, man. I mean, honestly, I've tried this, and I was just here back in December and tried it. And I'm going to tell you, I felt good, man. The soreness that I had in my body was gone. My wife tried it. I mean,
there it is right
she
there.
enjoyed it. Yep.
When you do your Epsom oil, you can click on that, and your Central Nutrient, click on that, and it's going to add it into the system. In your dose, your pre-rinse is the first minute. There's 3 minutes here of dose cycling of nutrients, and then there's a post-rinse to rinse all that off you.
This is wild, man.
So,
Leo, you truly are the Tony Starks of water, man, when it comes down to this.
Ain't nothing like it. I built this for my own personal reasons. You can read about it in my book, but I had a heart condition, and I flatlined in the hospital when I was 40, and I knew if I didn't do something, I was in trouble. So I built a version of this, which was very simple, but it was very archaic. I had to reach out here and turn knobs and do different things. This is all digital. It's all smart. We got the right team here working on this. I got a tech that's just amazing. And people ask me all the time, can you make something that can do this? Yeah, we can make anything. So if you're interested, come on down and see us. We don't charge nothing for people to come try it and use it. And if it has an impact on you, it might be something you want to do.
Tell us the location and how people can contact you on the website. What's your website address and everything? Yeah,
the website is phprescription.com or Aquapellis right here, AQUAPELLIS.com. You can find us at info@phprescription. That's PHprescription.com. There's no S at the end. People always think it's prescription. It's not. You can call the office at 772-220-8789. You're probably going to get Leanne or Nadine and make an appointment to talk with me, and I'd be happy to go over any questions you may have.
Wow, man. This has been a blast. Hey, look, you all, and if you come by here, make sure you tell him that the Spann man sent you. Please, you got to add my name on there, because I want him to know that you saw this video. All right. Look, stay tuned. We're going to have some more good fun on some other videos coming out from this one. I think you're going to need to soak on this one for a while. Leo, thanks for having us, man.
Thank you very much, Brian.